Okay, so I said I had a couple underdog picks coming up, and this is my first one. I am picking Bryan Barberena here. I think this fight is also going to be on the main card as well, so I feel like the belt order and Tapology isn't actually in order, but I'm just going off the Tapology order, just by the way, guys. But Bryan Barberena is sitting at the moment, plus 101 worst value, minus 110 worst value, actually. Maybe the line's going to flip here, but at the moment he is the plus 100 or so underdog. Robbie Lawler is a slight favourite. And I am picking Bryan Barberena to win this one. I do believe that he is gonna come home with the win. It's so tough though, because I feel like both of these guys, including Bryan Barberena, are past their prime. Bryan has had so many injuries himself. He's had so many setbacks. He's taken a bit of damage in his career. He was in a war against Matt Brown only 2 months ago. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's recovered from that 110%. But like he's been in there with some good fighters. He's been knocked out before. He's lost to some guys that aren't really that great, like Jason Witt, to be honest. But Bryan Barberena, he does kind of come to fight. I feel like his the amount of excitement that he brings to a fight, in my opinion, is a little bit overrated, and I feel like people are gonna hate on me for that. But I don't get excited for a Bryan Barberena fight like most people do. I just don't really understand the hype behind him. I don't really understand the belief that he's coming to bring a scrap. I don't really understand that kind of hype behind him. I genuinely have never really felt that way. But Robbie Lawler, man, like, I was so excited to see Robbie Lawler fight Nick Diaz, and I'm so sorry, guys, but Robbie Lawler made me a lot of money on that night because I picked Robbie Lawler to finish, to win by finish or win inside the distance. I think that was like plus 200, and I actually had, like, I don't really bet money because I don't actually have money to lose. But I bet a lot of money that night. Like, I bet small bets every now and then, but like I threw down on Robbie Lawler inside the distance, and I'm sorry, guys, but he cashed for me big time. I'm sorry, Nick Diaz, but I was confident in that pick. I was really confident there. But before that, he lost to Neil Magny. He lost to Colby Covington. I mean, this is the kind of competition Colby Covington has faced, by the way. I don't think people really recognise that. Lost to Ben Askren and lost to RDA. Like, he hasn't really won a fight apart from that Nick Diaz fight in a long time. And even in the Nick Diaz fight, I feel like the Nick Diaz fight is actually the fight you've got to look at when you're trying to tape study for Bryan Barberena. And I don't feel like Robbie Lawler was landing with a lot of power. I feel like if he's going to beat Bryan Barberena, he's going to have to get the respect of Bryan, because Bryan Barberena is going to come to brawl, and he is going to be coming forward, and he is going to be throwing with power, and I feel like he's going to be throwing with more power than Robbie Lawler is. So I don't know if Robbie Lawler is actually going to earn the respect of Bryan Barberena on the feet. And I think if Bryan Barberena doesn't respect Robbie Lawler on the feet, he's going to be throwing with his own power himself. He's not really going to be too scared of what's coming back. And yes, you could say, oh, that's when Robbie Lawler could get a knockout, but I just don't. I personally, at the moment, this video could age so poorly, and I would be happy if it did, because I do want Robbie Lawler to win. I really do. But he's 40 years old, and I just don't believe that Robbie Lawler is going to be able to knock out Bryan Barberena. I feel like Bryan Barberena could knock out Robbie Lawler. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it does go the full 3 rounds. But I do think Bryan Barberena is going to get the better of Robbie Lawler on the feet, and he's going to win a decision that way. To my surprise, I feel like a lot more people were going to be picking Lawler, but they're not. Okay, so I'm picking Bryan Barberena here. I think he does win a decision. At the moment, he's the underdog. Potentially, when the fight comes around, the line could flip. But either way, I really want Robbie Lawler to win, man. I really do want Robbie Lawler to win, but I've got to side with Barberena on this one here. I feel like both guys are at the end of their careers as well. Maybe not Bryan Barberena, maybe he's got a couple years left in him, but the reality is Bryan Barberena's been injured so many times. I feel like I don't really know how many fights he's got left in him before those injuries catch up, and I feel like those injuries from Robbie Lawler in the past have caught up to him now. So I feel like it's a very winnable fight for Barberena. I'm picking Barberena to win this one here.